She has kind of helped shape the current landscape of women's wrestling. I
Yeah.
think she had a match that blew a lot of people's minds. It is probably one of, if not my favorite match of all time, versus Bayley at TakeOver
Oh
Brooklyn.
yeah. Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
I watched that match and I think I was just starting out wrestling, and I was like, my mother's not a wrestling fan. I made her watch it.
Willow Nightingale, welcome to the Apter chat. It's your first time. Great to have you.
Great to be here, Bill.
So the first thing I noticed when you came on camera here, and you're one of the big stars in AEW, of course, all elite wrestling. You are very elite, but that tattoo on your shoulder there, what does
Yeah.
it say?
So I actually used to work at a tattoo shop. I was a piercer for a while I was an independent wrestler, and sometimes the artists, they would want to practice something, or we were just bored, so they'd be like, "You want a tattoo?" One of my coworkers was trying to work on his like penmanship and his writing. So he said, "Do you want to get like a written tattoo?" And I was like, I guess this is kind of the thing I would want. And it is fall in love with yourself. But I wanted it written like reversed, flipped, so that when I looked in the mirror, I would be able to read it to myself.
That's great.
So if you're looking, because of the way that the camera reverses, you will be able to read it as well. Fall in love with yourself. But if you're looking in person and you're standing across from me, it'll just look like gibberish or something.
Following
But
that every
it's
day?
a nice.
Do you follow that every day?
I've had a very long journey of self-love and questioning my own self-worth, and I would say for the most part, I have fallen in love with myself. I have built a life that I love, and I am at the center of that.
Yeah, and
It is all my
a
own
lot of
doing and
people,
creation, and I do love myself. Yes.
a lot of people love you as well. Those
Well, thank you. Thank
AEW
you very
fans
much.
love you.
Check out BrainBuster, the daily quiz that tests your WWE knowledge with winning streaks, stats, and more. It's time to see if you're up for the challenge.
I want to go down some of the women's roster here, of course. First of all, you're the CMLL Ladies Champion now.
I
Congratulations.
am. Yeah, the world women's champ
that.
over there. Yep.
And you've
Thank
got
you.
a match coming up, and I can't pronounce her name. How do you pronounce her name?
Zeus.
Say it again.
Zeus? Or
Zusia.
Zusi?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, good luck with that. I want to talk to you about strengths
you.
and weaknesses of some of the people on the roster here. Of course, I want to start off with Mariah May. She, as you know, was groomed by Tony Storm. They had this incredible relationship. She has now taken the belt from her in full color. Strengths and weaknesses of Mariah May, in your opinion, and were you shocked that she beat Tony Storm?
I mean, you beat me, so so that
Interesting.
you spend time in the ring with someone and you learn a lot about them in a very short amount of time. I would say she is cunning, and that is probably her biggest strength. She is at the helm of the division right now, and so she's the one with the target on her back that we're all trying to get her spot. But her weakness might also be a strength for her, is that she is, she's not super experienced. She's been doing this for a few years, and she did have a little tenure over at Stardom, which helped her tremendously. But we do have a women's division that is full of people who've been wrestling 10 plus years, and that experience goes a long way. And I think that would be her weakness, is that she's still kind of getting that experience. She's getting great experience, because look at where she's ended up. And she had a great mentor in Tony Storm, who I would consider one of the best of this generation, like truly. So she lucked out with a mentor like that, and to betray her and undercut her, I don't like it, but it's a smart move, and it paid off. Yeah.
I kind of changed it when it's a lady, I call her a womantor instead of a mentor. Just you can use that. It's all right. It's okay. So let's look at Tony Storm then. Same thing. Strengths, weaknesses.
Strength, she's super experienced. She's quick to adapt. She has, you know, she has an answer for everything in there. She's entertaining. A weakness. I mean, both of these girls that we've talked about so far, if I'm in the ring with them, I have the power advantage. That's their weakness. They're not as strong as me. That's what I'm going to go for. So same with Tony.
Okay, so you just brought something up. What about Willow Nightingale?
What is my weakness?
Yeah. Let's go for a scouting report on you.
Bill, I can't go on your show and out my own weaknesses.
Right.
We're not going to do that. Smart thing to do.
You walk into that. So let's talk about someone whose hype was absolutely incredible. She's at the top of the game at this point right now. And the CEO, of course, we're talking about Mercedes Mone. Is she living up to her own hype?
I believe so.
Okay.
I think she is great.
Really? Okay.
She is somebody who, whether I like it or not, because she is at the end of the day competition, she has kind of helped shape the current landscape of women's wrestling. I think she had a match that blew a lot of people's minds. It is probably one of, if not my favorite match of all time, versus Bayley at TakeOver Brooklyn.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
You know, I watched that match and I think I was just starting out wrestling, and I was like, my mother's not a wrestling fan. I made her watch it. I said, you have to see this. And she was like, you know what? It's good. If it's good, it's good. And you could have like that, and that's it. And that's enough, and that's who you are. But she's not that. She came to AEW and she said, no, I'm sorry, I'm going to show you guys exactly why I got to where I am and why I am the CEO. But you know what? She may have beat me in our most recent encounter, but I have beaten her before. So her weakness, I have the number. I know what it is. And I think with the experience that I've gained since the first time I wrestled her, I'm a very different person, even from the last time I wrestled her. So I'll keep that to myself because I want to be the one. I want to be the one to prey on that weakness.
You know, it seems that she's in the pocket of the Young Bucks, the Jacksons there. Pretty much.
I'd say that's a good place to be.
Now, do you think that Kamille has wrestled in a lot of different companies and been champion in a lot of different companies? What is she doing with Sasha Banks? Why is she Sasha Banks with Mercedes Mone, formerly known as Sasha Banks? What does she do? Do you think she's capable of just pulling a Mariah May, what she did on Tony Storm?
I mean, I definitely think that's possible. But I think anyone who's walking into our division, I think we have a stacked division. We have a bunch of talented, hardworking women, hardworking and hard-hitting women. And anytime you are walking into a landscape like that and you have somebody who's willing to kind of show you the ropes, whatever you want to do with that, whether you want to be very sportsmanlike or not with that, that's your choice. I think it's a smart thing to learn from somebody who kind of already can feel it out what's what. So I think that's very smart by her. And I'm sure she could have come in on her own and, roughed some people up. I was talking about having the power advantage over all those other girls. Kamille, I don't know. I don't know about her. But she, it was a smart move to align herself with someone who is both so experienced, so knowledgeable, and so powerful. Yes.
Marina Shafir just came in with John Moxley. Moxley said to me, Shivani, this is not your company anymore. So let's look at this in two parts. What do you think Moxley meant by that? And Marina Shafir coming in to the company, what does that mean for your division?
So I don't know exactly what he means. I think whatever he means, it's got to change something, because I feel like Mox coming into AEW, and then he, famously said that he's creating the paradigm shift, right? Like that's him. That's exactly what happened. And so if he's saying, sorry, this isn't your company anymore, guys, I don't know what's in store, but he very clearly knows what he's talking about. He has his own plan. And I think we just have to sit back and see what unfolds. But when we talk about Marina Shafir, she is somebody who legitimately could probably break us all in half if you. So it does send a chill down my spine. So I will keep my eyes, and I will keep the eyes on the back of my head also at attention.
Let's talk about one more person. Jamie Hayter has come back, and I'll tell you, when I saw her on Dynamite recently, she would put on a hell of a match. I mean, she seems like she's more Hayter than she was before. So give us your take on her.
Yeah. I have wrestled Jamie one time previously, and I did not emerge victoriously. I think it was a good outing, but I feel like I've changed so much since the last time I wrestled her. I think it would be a really interesting match to have, but the past 2 matches I've seen her have on Dynamite have really been killer. They really have. She's been showing that she's not let up in her time away. She's still sipping on that haterade, and strong as hell and fierce as hell. And I'm excited to kind of see what she unleashes on all of us. Yeah.
Okay, I almost left her name off the list here, and All Out, if this makes it on air in time, so that you've got a Chicago street fight. First of all, have you ever done any street fights before, other than in Valley Stream?
A few.
Okay.
I've done a few. I think in AEW I may have done like 4 so far, so this would be my 5th, which I think is more than any other woman on the division.
Could be more than any other women in the business for street fighting.
I mean, I don't know. There's some hardcore chicks out there.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Well, tell us about Kris Statlander and the she's so much after you. I mean, she just wants to eliminate you.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of emotion and vitriol between us. But I know who she is. She is underhanded, which I would not have expected. A year ago, you asked me that, I wouldn't have said that.
Right.
She's underhanded. She's willing to cheat. But I do know that she's a great professional wrestler, and I cannot undermine that. So I'm going in to All Out aware of all of this. But I also have a mean streak. I also have rage. I've been heartbroken. And so those are very ugly feelings that are not going to manifest in a very pretty way. And so I called the stipulation out myself. I was like, this is fitting for where we're at. And we'll see how it goes. Won't be pretty.
Right. We did scouting reports, and I'm just going to ask you the positives of working for the great company AEW. When you come into work, you hit in backstage there, what's it like for you?
I get to live my dream every week. That's the first thing. The second thing, I get to travel internationally. We mentioned I'm the CMLL World Women's Champion. Next week, I'm going to be heading to Arena, Mexico, which probably has the most wrestling history and prestige.
That may have happened.
By the time this comes out, it might. But it is, whether it happens ahead of us or it already has happened. It's still like a building that has the most prestige and history. Specifically to professional wrestling that I can think of, and I get to do that regularly through working with our international partners. And every every woman back there, whether I like them or I don't, we all have the same goal, and that's to show that we're, excuse my language, badass, and
they'll beep it out or they'll say freaking.
And, yeah, and we're gonna go out there and we're gonna do our best, and yeah, I love it. I love it. I love All Elite Wrestling. I love working there.
Where can people find you on social media?
Me personally, you can find me on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, or Instagram under the handle @WillowWrestles. You can find All Elite Wrestling at AEW on those same social media sites. You can also tune in on TBS on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Central to see Dynamite, or you could tune into TNT on Friday nights for Rampage at 10 p.m.
8 p.m. Eastern. That's what I want.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. I'm in Central right now. That's why I said that. But Bill, you caught me, and thank you for that. I do appreciate that. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
I like that, EST.
You're on TNT for Rampage.
I'm the EST here, Eastern Standard. So that's it. I'm going to follow you on Twitter X. And I need a follow back. You'll get it from Apter One Wrestling. Thank you so much.
Noted.
And thank you so much for being here. And hopefully, when you're all in New York or back here in at the Liacouras Center in Philadelphia, we'll get to chat in person.
That would be lovely, Bill.
It would. I agree. Get me some chicken White Castle sliders.
Noted.
They do make them. I miss my Long Island. All right, Bill Apter here with Willow Nightingale. And if you wouldn't mind pointing out to the camera, I do this with everyone. We'll see you at the matches.